I like refried beans. That's why I want to try fried beans, because maybe they're just as good and we're wasting time. I'm a photographer. I like to take pictures, you know. My favorite pictures are pictures of strangers running away from me or showing expressions of fear. So I mounted my camera on top of a rifle. I have a cheese shredder at home. That's a positive name for it, cheese shredder. They never call it by its negative name because no one would buy it. Sponge ruiner. Because I wanted to clean it. Now I have little bits of sponge that would melt easily over tortilla chips. I had a roommate in Florida. His name was Eddie. Eddie was kind of slow on the mental draw. I was writing a letter. I had a problem. I said, Ed, how do you abbreviate Arkansas? He said, I don't know. Just start spelling it, then quit. I was walking by a record store. The sign out front said they specialized in hard-to-find records and tapes. Nothing was alphabetized. I've been walking around New York City. Anyone see me? I've been walking around, checking it out. You know, people always trying to hand me out flyers, you know. When someone tries to hand me out a flyer, it's kind of like they're saying, here, you throw this away. You know, the baseball hat is the only hat that's crossed over into mainstream society to the point where you can wear it and not have people think you play on a team. No other hat is like this. Like, you cannot walk around with the chef's hat on. I wish they made cinnamon roll incense, because I love cinnamon rolls, but I don't always want to open my oven and put a pan in. I'd rather just light a stick than have my roommates wake up with false hopes. I used to buy a lot of M&Ms because they're a delicious candy. But then I switched to aspirin. I find if you hand your friend 2 aspirin, he doesn't look at you like you're selfish. I used to be a hot tar roofer. Yeah, I remember that day. You know, you go to a concert and it's like punk rock music or something, and the kids get on stage and they jump into the crowd. It's called stage diving, right? Some people think that's dangerous, but not me, because humans are made out of 95% water. So the audience is 5% away from a pool. You know, sometimes people give me gift certificates, man. I think a gift certificate is a bad gift. What's a gift certificate? You take money that was good everywhere. Yeah. I think turkeys are sellouts, man. I hate turkeys. Like, if you go to the grocery store and you stand in front of the lunch meat section for too long, you start to get pissed off at turkeys. You see, like, turkey ham, turkey pastrami, turkey bologna. Someone just needs to tell the turkeys, man, just be yourself. I think Pringles' initial intention was to make tennis balls. But on the day that the rubber was supposed to show up, a big truckload of potatoes arrived. And Pringles is a laid-back company. They said, cut them up. I live in Los Angeles. I play tennis with my friend Doug. The thing that's depressing about tennis is no matter how good I get, I'll never be as good as a wall. I'm staying at a hotel right now. There's no 13th floor because of superstition. But come on, man. The people on the 14th floor, you know what floor you're really on. If you jump out of the 14th floor hoping to kill yourself, you will die earlier. I think a lot of people associate long hair with drug use, you know? I wish long hair was associated with something other than drug use, like an extreme longing for cake. Strangers would look at me and say under their breath, that guy eats cake. I got a V-neck shirt on, man. I like V-necks, you know? I like the loose feeling around my neck. My neck is very fragile. I don't wear crew necks. And I hate turtlenecks, man. A turtleneck is like being strangled by a really weak guy. All day. I was at a convenience store reading a magazine. The clerk said, "This is not a library." I said, "All right, I will talk louder then." I like rice. Rice is great when you're hungry and you want 2,000 of something. I went to a pizzeria. I ordered a slice of pizza. The dude gave me the smallest slice possible. If the pizza was a pie chart for what people would do if they found $1 million, this dude gave me the donate it to charity slice. I would like to exchange this for the keep it. This shirt is dry clean only, which means it's dirty. I tried to walk into Target, but I missed. I think the entrance to Target should have people splattered all around. I was walking by a dry cleaner at 3 a.m. and the sign said, "Sorry, we're closed." You don't have to be sorry. It's 3 a.m. and you're a dry cleaner. It would be ridiculous for me to expect you to be open. I'm not going to walk in at 10 and say, "Hey, man, I walked by at 3. You guys were closed. Somebody owes me an apology." I find that Duck's opinion of me is very much influenced over whether or not I have bread. If you're watching a parade, make sure you stand in one spot. Don't follow it. It never changes. And if you don't like the parade, run in the opposite direction. You will fast forward the parade. You know what, man? I got a parrot. The parrot talked, but it did not say, "I'm hungry," so it died. I like sandwiches, but I hate sandwiches at New York delis. There's too much meat on the sandwich. It's like a cow with a cracker on either side. What would you like? A pastrami sandwich? Anything else? Yeah, a loaf of bread and some other people? I order the club sandwich all the time, and I'm not even a member, man. I don't know how I get away with it. I like my sandwiches with 3 pieces of bread. So do I. Well, let's form a club.
I used to apply for day jobs. It was very hypocritical. I would go to an interview. About halfway through, the potential boss would say, "Mitch, are you willing to cut your hair for the corporation?" I would look around. I would see all these women working with very long hair, and it made me angry. So I came up with a compromise. No. But I wear lipstick and high heels.
I had an apartment in Los Angeles, and I had a neighbor, and whenever he would knock on my wall, I knew he wanted me to turn my music down, and that made me angry because I like loud music. So when he knocked on the wall, I'd mess with his head. I'd say, "Go around." I cannot open the wall. I like Kit Kats unless I'm with 4 or more people. I wrote a script and I gave it to a guy who reads scripts, and he read it and he said he really likes it, but he thinks I need to rewrite it. I said, "Fuck that, I'll just make a copy." I went to the doctor, all he did was suck blood from my neck. Do not go see Dr. Acula. I get up in the morning, I make myself a bowl of instant oatmeal, and then I don't do anything for an hour. Which makes me wonder why I need the instant oatmeal. I could get the regular oatmeal and feel productive.
Yeah, I need a new pair of shoes. I go to the Foot Locker. This referee comes up to me. He says, "How you doing?" I says, "Pretty good." He says, "What are you into, man? Baseball, football, running, soccer, basketball? What's your gig? What can we size you up with?" Well, nothing really rings a bell, Size me up as something good for sitting on my ass. People say, "Mitch, isn't it frustrating not having any friends?" And I got to think about it. Yeah, sometimes, like when I throw a frisbee. I got a little sister. Her name is Angie, but you guys don't know her because she's not here. She's very rebellious. My mom told me she was smoking cigarettes and drinking mass amounts of alcohol. So I said, "All right." She said, "That's not funny, Mitch. You should talk to her and settle her down." I said, "I don't think I'm the guy for the job, Hey, Angie, I heard you were smoking and drinking. I think you're ready for narcotics." I had a job in Miami once, which was kind of stupid because I was living in Detroit. People in my carpool gave me a lot of shit.
I got to be on That 70s Show this year. I did one episode of That 70s Show. It was sweet because it was a real acting gig. I put it on my acting resume. Before that, my acting resume was sparse. I had to make things up. Acting experience, okay. But when I play pool, if I make a shot, I act like I'm not surprised. You know, if you had a friend who was a tightrope walker and you were walking down the sidewalk with him and he fell, that would be completely unacceptable. I had a piece of Carefree sugarless gum, and I was still worried. I was on a bus, and it was the middle of the night, and I had a box of crackers, and I had a can of Easy Cheese. But it was the middle of the night, so I could not see. So I could not see how much Easy Cheese I was applying to each cracker. So each bite into the cracker was a surprise as to how much Easy Cheese I had applied. Which makes me believe they should have a glow-in-the-dark version of Easy Cheese. It's not like the product has any integrity to begin with. If you buy a room temperature cheese that you squeeze out of a can, you probably won't get mad because it glows in the dark as well. I get free Nikes because I'm in the entertainment business. Nike sent me some shoes. And all my friends want me to get them free shoes too. So I got called to Nike Corporation and say, hey man, my feet have been fluctuating. And I'm starting to like the women's styles too. I say the word totally too much, you know. I gotta quit saying totally. I wanna replace it with a word that means the same thing but is different. Mitchell, do you like submarine sandwiches? All encompassingly. You know how they call corn on the cob, corn on the cob? But that's how it comes out of the ground, man. They should call that corn. They should call every other version corn off the cob. It's not like if you cut off my arm, you would call my arm Mitch. But then reattach it and call it Mitch altogether. My girlfriend's name is Lynn. She spells her name L-Y-N-N. And my old girlfriend's name is Lynn, too. She spells it L-Y-N. Every now and then I mess up. I call my new girlfriend by my old girlfriend's name. And she can tell because I don't say as long. Xylophone is spelled with an X. That's wrong. Xylophone, Z-X. I don't see it. It should be a Z up front, you know? Next time you have to spell xylophone, use a Z. And if someone says, hey, that's wrong, say, no, it ain't. If you think that's wrong, you need to have your head Z-rayed. I saw a lady with a flower. She was plucking out the petals. She was saying, he loves me not. Thank God the flower can't talk. What would it say? Ouch, that hurts. Ouch, that hurts as well. Please, leave me alone. I'm no longer pretty. And he loves you not. I could have told you I had an even number of petals. I used to have a paper route when I was younger. I was a paper boy. I was supposed to go to 2,000 houses or 2 dumpsters. I play the South. You know, down in the South, they say y'all. You know, they take out the O and the U. So when I'm in the South, I try to talk like that so they understand me. Hello, can I have a bowl of chicken noodle sp? Come on. I'm in the South, you understand. I mean, I'm in the South, and I want some spa. I was at a convenience store reading a magazine. The clerk said, this is not a library. I said, all right, I will talk louder then. You know, like Biff, I'm gonna hang a map of the world in my house. Then I'm gonna put pins into all the locations that I've traveled to. But first I'm gonna have to travel to the top 2 corners of the map so it won't fall down. I got one more joke I want to sneak in here real quick. I got an oscillating fan at my house. It's an oscillating fan that goes back and forth. It looks like the fan is saying no. So I like to ask you questions that a fan would say no to. Do you keep my hair in place? No. Do you keep my documents in order? No. Do you have 3 settings? Liar. I can't wait till this set's over because I have a roll of lifesavers in my pocket and pineapple is next. I like to play blackjack. It's my favorite game. And my friend is a blackjack dealer, and on his forearm, he has a tattoo of an ace and a jack. See, I'm a blackjack player. On my forearm, I'm gonna get a tattoo of a 10 and a 2. And then maybe later, a king. Some comedy clubs, they hand out comment cards, and those are rude. I don't like those, you know. Like, I'll pretend this is one here. Like, people fill it out, you know, there's a name and address, and there's a line that says comments, and people write down what they thought of the show. And sometimes people write negative things, and that's not necessary. Like, I read something that say, Mitch sucks. Then you look up above, it has their name and address. That's right, I do suck, but I got a lot of free time. I saw a commercial that said, forget everything you know about slipcovers. So I did. And it was a load off my mind. Then the commercial tried to sell slipcovers, but I didn't know what the hell they were. I read that last year MTV's Real World got 40,000 applications. That's amazing, man. Such an even number. You would think it would be 40,008, maybe. Now, is a hippopotamus, or a really cool opotamus? That's right. I love cottage cheese. That's why I want to try other dwelling cheeses, too. Dr. Scholl makes foot products. And he's a doctor, which means he went to school for a long time. But it doesn't take a lot to figure out that stepping on a cushion will be more comfortable. That dude wasted lots of time at school. Because I would have bought that from a Mr. Scholl. I wish they made fajita cologne, because that stuff smells good. I saw this lady on TV, she was born without arms. She was born with her hands attached to her shoulders, and that was sad. But then they said, Lola does not know the meaning of the word can't. And that to me was actually kind of worse in a way. You know, not only does she not have arms, but she doesn't understand simple contractions. You know, there's a fishing show on TV, they catch a fish, but then they let it go. They don't want to eat the fish, but they do want to make it late for something. Where were you? I got caught. No, you didn't. Let me see the inside of your lip.
I had a carton of Quick strawberry milk, and right on the carton it said America's favorite strawberry milk. It must have come down to two options. Should we go with favorite or only?
You know when a company wants to use letters in their phone number to be catchy, but oftentimes they use too many letters? Like, give us a call down here at 1-800, I really enjoy carpeting. It's too many letters, man. Do I have to dial them all? Hello, hold on, I'm only on enjoy. How did you know I was calling? You're good, I can see why they hired you.
A lot of radio stations, they like to use their frequency number to count down the days of summer. Like FM 107 will celebrate the 107 days of summer, you know? AM stations can't do this. We're AM 1610, celebrating the 1610 days of the next 4.5 years. It's gonna be a long party. I got a sliding glass door, has a sticker, it says warning alarm system. It's a real simple alarm too. It consists of a sticker. I was in a band for a while. I was in a band for 7 years. It was a death metal band. People either loved us or they hated us, or they thought we were okay. A lot of death metal bands have intense names like Rigor Mortis, or Mortuary, or Obituary. We weren't that intense, so we just went with Injured. Later on, we changed it to a cappella as we were walking out of the pawn shop.
One time a guy handed me a picture of me. He said, here's a picture of me when I was younger. Every picture is of you when you were younger.